You know, when you're looking at a conflict from the outside, it can feel like pure chaos, just a fog of war. So, how do you find the truth in all that noise? Well, today we're going to do just that. We're breaking down a single airstrike in Sudan to show you not only what happened, but how a new kind of digital detective work is changing how we see these events. Let's dive in. First things first, we need to establish the core event, the single moment that kicked off this whole investigation. So, what are we actually talking about here? At the heart of it all is this one event, an airstrike carried out by the Sudanese Armed Forces, you'll hear them called the SAF, in the really important city of Nyala. This is our ground zero, the one fact we can start with in a war that's just been devastating. And right away, you hit the big problem. I mean, with propaganda and different stories coming from every side, how can anyone possibly know for sure what really happened? How do you cut through the noise and separate fact from fiction? Well, the answer is in the evidence, and more importantly, how you find it. So let's get into the how, the actual tools and techniques that let people verify this strike with, honestly, incredible precision. The key here has a name. It's called Open Source Intelligence, or OSINT for short. Now, this isn't what you see in the movies with secret agents and classified documents. No, this is all about putting together a puzzle using information that's already out there for the public. We're talking social media videos, news clips, satellite maps, anything. It's kind of like intelligence gathering for everyone, and it lets analysts anywhere paint a super clear picture of what's happening on the ground. And the process is really systematic. So it all starts with finding and analyzing videos that pop up online. Then the really cool part begins. Analysts basically play this game of digital detective, geolocating that footage by matching things like buildings, roads, or weird-looking trees to what they see on satellite maps. And then the final step, and this is the real clincher, they pull up before and after satellite photos to confirm the exact spot and just how bad the damage is. And right here, this is the result of all that hard work. On the left, you've got a before shot. Everything looks normal. And on the right, the after. It is just stark. You can physically see the impact craters, the damage to the buildings. This isn't a guess. It's visual, verifiable proof. The smoking gun. Because of that proof, we can say with total confidence what the target was. The strike took out drone platforms that belong to the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, who are the main opponents of the SAF. Okay, so we've nailed down the what and the how. But for any of this to really make sense, we've got to zoom out and understand the who. Who is actually fighting in this war? So this conflict has two main players. On one side, you have the Sudanese Armed Forces, or SAF. That's the official state military. They've got the traditional stuff, the jets, the helicopters, the heavy air power. And on the other side, you have the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, which is a really powerful paramilitary group that actually started out as a collection of militias. And this isn't some new skirmish. At the time we're looking at this, these two forces have been locked in a really brutal civil war for about 19 months, and it's just been tearing the country apart. All right, so now we know who's fighting. That lets us dig into the why. Why this strike? Why the city? What's the strategy behind it all? You see, Nyala isn't just some random town. It's a huge deal. It's the capital of South Darfur, and it's a critical strategic hub. For both the SAF and the RSF, if you control Nyala, you control supply lines, you control command and control centers, you basically control a massive part of the region. And this gets us to the real heart of the tactic here. It's this incredible imbalance. The SAF, they've got the big, expensive fighter jets. But the RSF has been super effective using cheap, off-the-shelf commercial drones for, well, everything from spying on troop movements to actually carrying out their own attacks. So this airstrike was the SAF's direct attempt to take out that drone advantage. And that idea, it lines up perfectly with what military analysts are saying about war today. Just look at this quote. The fight isn't just on the ground anymore. The new main battlefield is the sky. And whoever controls it, doesn't matter if it's with a $100 million jet or a drone you bought online, can be the one to win the war. So this brings us to the final and I think most important piece of this whole puzzle, the so what. Right? Why does one strike in one city in Sudan really matter to the rest of us? It matters because this story isn't just about Sudan. What happened in Nyala is like a perfect snapshot of a huge global shift in how wars are fought. It's a textbook case of this new reality, a clash between old-school state-run air forces and the disruptive power of cheap, accessible, and deadly effective drone tech. We're seeing this exact same dynamic play out in conflicts all over the globe. Which leaves us with a really big, kind of provocative thought. If a paramilitary group with drones they bought online can go toe-to-toe with a national army's entire air force, well, that changes all the rules. And it forces us to ask a brand new and pretty urgent question. In the 21st century, who really owns the sky?